Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we are going to talk about some news from a couple that we've covered before, and I know like their saga resonated with a lot of you guys, me too, and now there's a new chapter, John Mulaney and Olivia Munn. And not just John Mulaney and Olivia Munn, because right, it's the who's who of Nobody Cares. It's John Mulaney's situation with his ex-wife, Anna Marie Tendla. I have to say it like that. Anna Marie Tendla. Come on, you add into much soul. What are you doing, Anna Marie? Right? I love saying her name like that. But last time we talked about these two, John had gotten out of rehab, gotten sober, and instantaneously dumped his wife, who he's been married to for quite a while, and took up with Olivia Munn. And we talked about like dating the nerd. Like if you're looking at this from Olivia's point of view, like the pros and cons of dating the nerdy guy. We've done a bunch of videos on that. But also from Anna's point of view, like why it does and doesn't pay to try to save a man, and the right way to try to save a man so that you don't become his therapist. And then when he's like feeling good and happy, he's like, ugh, bye, and moves on to the girl with those big giant tits. Olivia's got great tits. She does. Anyway. But there's a new development. Olivia is pregnant. And when I read this, I felt it on a level, like it honestly made me sick to my stomach to read this. Because I know we have all been in this situation where, and I'm looking at this from Anna Maria's point of view, where it's like, I know he just needs to get his life together. This is probably just some fling. I know he loves me. I'm his rock, right? I know he's going to come back. And then it's like, he's actually moved on. What do we do when our ex moves on, but we haven't? Ugh, we're going to break it all down. It's a garbage fire. Okay, but before we do, just want to remind you guys, I'm on TikTok. I was on TikTok, but took like a long hiatus, but I'm back and I'm on Reels on Instagram and here doing YouTube shorts. And I do basically just little celebrity rants and commentary for celeb events that don't necessarily merit a full video, but I still got something to say. And I'm doing different content on all three platforms, so be sure to follow me. I'm Shallon XO on Instagram and on TikTok. It's pretty fun. It's especially fun to get hate comments on a new platform, like on TikTok. People are like, why are you on here? I was like, bitch, why are you watching? You're so dumb. It's like eating at Olive Garden. Be like, I don't even know why you're serving this food that I'm shoveling down my gullet. Yeah, got it. Also, we have one spot left for our trip to the Dominican Republic. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be announcing some new trips soon, I think in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. And just a reminder, if you guys have a question you need answered, if you want to talk to me one-on-one about something, head to my website, shallonlester.com, and click Submit a Question. We have a new feature where you can get an answer in just 24 hours, because sometimes, you just need help. I totally get it, and I'm here for you, because I have no life of my own. All right, let's talk about what's going on with Anna Marie Tendla and John Mulaney and Olivia. You know how sometimes there's just couples or like celebrity situations that just like hit you? Like one of my friends, Kelly, hi Kel, if you're watching, like she was like bereft over Kate Bosworth's divorce. She was like, I cannot handle this. And it's true. Like somehow there's certain situations you're like, oh my God, like, and this is one of them. I have felt so badly for John's ex-wife, Anna Marie Tendla, because yeah, she was like his rider and was loving him through all of his issues. Okay, so John went to rehab a few times. We're going to get into the timeline in just a second, but the TLDR is like, he went to rehab, got out, and divorced her ass. And she even said in the statement, it was like the saddest statement ever. She's like, I don't want this. Like, it was just awful. It was so sad. And then I think she ended up going to her own treatment, I believe for an eating disorder. So there was a lot going on in that house. And like I don't know if you've ever dated someone with drug or alcohol problems. I've dated a few. And like, I was a sorority girl, so of course I dabbled in my own eating disorder arts. And I get where it's like, I can't control this man. I can't control my marriage. I can't control anything. I can control what I put in my body. Like you get that and you feel it. So I just felt very like resonant with this whole thing. And no one in this scenario is a bad person, except of course for Olivia Munn, but we'll get there. Like I know a lot of people who've worked with John over the years, and I have never heard one bad thing about him. He is truly one of the most brilliant comics. The birthday sign! Bill Clinton never forgets a bitch. Oh my God. And Anna Marie seems just like, just normal and sweet. And ugh. So here's what's going on. He came out of rehab and slid right into the vagina of Olivia Munn. We talked about her. She's a beautiful girl. She seems funny. She seems nice. But she also seems like one of those girls, like, I'm a tomboy. And, I just show up to the boys' nights. It's cool. Like, I'll keep an eye on your boyfriend. But she'll suck his dick. Like, she's one of those. Like, or she'll like do anal on the first date to seem cool and like casually slip it in over jalapeno poppers. You can stick it anywhere. Do you know who Nicole Arbor is? Yeah. I follow Nicole Arbor. I like her. But she has a touch of that too. Like, she's beautiful. Someone said on TikTok, they're like, you remind me of Nicole Arbor. I was like, I'm less pretty, but I'm more funny. And I'll take that, man, because I can always get hotter. Can't really get wittier. But she seems like the kind of chick who's like, I'm just like the cool chick, but it's like, I'll fuck every dude in this room. It's just an instinct that we as women have. And I think we get ourselves into so much hot water. I mean, we get ourselves killed, certainly, by denying our instincts. And this whole concept that women have to just love and support other women. I don't have to support and love every single other woman just because we have the same genitals? Get fucked. No, I don't like you. There's something I'm sensing that's off. I don't need to have a whole PowerPoint presentation to justify it. We just don't mesh, sweetheart. You stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. And it's like, oh, that's so catty. What is that word for men? Is there a word you apply to men when men have an opinion on other men? Oh, no, there isn't. It's just, he doesn't like him. But women have to be called catty. Got it. When I say, no, I'm noticing some things here. No, I don't really like that person. No, this isn't really my vibe. Oh, it's so catty. Well, meow, meow, bitch. I'm a catty ass motherfucker. Fine. I've been called worse by better. So he took up with Olivia. And yeah, we talked about in that video, like, what is it smart to date a nerd? And sometimes no, because they can neg you. So he confirmed this pregnancy, and he confirmed it last night on Late Night with Seth Meyers, because they're like SNL bros, whatever. So he straightened out the timeline. Let's check out this timeline. This is John's own words. I went to rehab in September 2020. I got out in October. So 1 month. I moved out of my house from my ex-wife. I feel every one of these words. I moved out of my house from my ex-wife. I host Saturday Night Live on Halloween. Okay. He gets out in October. Probably not like October 1st. I don't know, maybe the 10th, whatever. He immediately moves out. Immediately. After that, on October 31st, he hosts Saturday Night Live. I relapse on drugs. I went to rehab again, this time for 2 months. I got out in February. So that means he went in December, right? All of December, all of January, gets out in February, okay? Like around there. I lived in sober living for another month and a half. Let's say he got out of rehab February 1st. I could look this up, but I don't care. Another month and a half. So that's all of March, right? Wait, I got out in February. All of February and half of March. Sober living facility. Half of March. Then in the spring, I went to Los Angeles. Great place for an addict. No crazies there. And met and started to date a wonderful woman named Olivia. Based on this timeline, he started to date her in what? April? Let's say April, right? By the looks of these pictures, of her bump pictures, I haven't been pregnant, and every body is different, but I would say she's maybe 5-6 months along, like around there. We're in September. That's month 10. 10 minus 6 or 5 is just about 4. April. So these two got pregnant right out the jump. How convenient. How convenient. How convenient. And I love how he says, I met and started to date. He had known her. She had tweeted at him, and they had like sat next to each other at a wedding. Olivia sat next to him and Anna Marie, I believe. And she was like, oh my God, you guys are so fun. Like, adopt me. I want to be your best friends. Like, several years ago, I was involved with someone. I was Anna Marie. I was Anna Marie Atenla. I loved this boy who had addiction issues, and he was, I'm going to go to meetings, and I'm going to therapy, and and I was like so incredibly codependent and so incredibly plugged in. And codependency, we know, means I care more about your problems than you care about your problems. let me just step up and fix everything. I was at a time in my life where I didn't know where my career was going. I was really tired of being at Star Magazine. And I was just like, I know, instead of working on my own life, I'll fix his. Yay. That to me is the root of codependency. Like, my life, no, his life. And codependency fucks you in the end because, especially if it's about an addiction issue, because as we've said, when a man associates you with a therapist role, guys don't fuck their therapist. Men don't like a mirror. They don't want to see someone who embodies their worst behaviors, the worst time in their life, the worst version of themselves. They want to wipe that slate clean and move forward. And that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to Anna Maria Tenla. The dude I was dealing with, he went to rehab, and I was like writing him letters, and oh my gosh, and I was cleaning his apartment, and I thought he's going to come out and like worship me. I mean, hello? Look at all I've done for him. No. It was, you've done so much for me. I know. I can never thank you enough. I know. I'm sorry, what? You're leaving me. You met a who? You met, what? He John Mulaney'd me. He moved on with some chick who knew nothing about that previous version of him, who only viewed him as this like champion who overcame things. And the cleanup crew, me behind the scenes, bye. This is why I get so gagged about like codependency and like being the therapist, because it doesn't even fucking work. And there is no prize. There's no medal for being a Captain Save-A-Ho. It's actually not even a rank in the United States Army. Did you know that? Very offensive. And so go back to, if you're like in this mode of like saving a dude, please go back to that John Mulaney video, because I give you actual things you can do to save a guy that will preserve that relationship. I experienced this exact same dynamic recently with someone, and I was like very upset about it. And one of my friends, I was texting her, and she's like, dude, if this guy just came out of rehab and is like already trying to date someone like 2 months later, no. And this is a friend who had been to rehab, and she's like, she's like, I've been a few times, okay? And you come out the first time, you think you know it all. You've got that like first round philosophy. You just know everything. And you're just gonna start over, and you're just gonna start over right now, right the fuck now. Yep. Nope. You don't need to be alone. Nope. You are ready to start over. In fact, I'm so good. I'm going to show everyone how good I am by creating this instant family. And she's like, it never lasts. This is a recipe for disaster. Like any counselor will tell you that. This is one of the tenets of rehab, of AA, and I would assume most other rehab philosophies, is no relationships for a year. You need to be in a relationship with yourself. You need to be okay alone, because so many of us, whether we have an issue with a capital I with alcohol, or just like an issue, or whatever it might be, a lot of it stems from like, I don't want to be by myself with my anxiety, I don't want to be at a party with my anxiety. You have to be okay in your own real estate before you move someone else into it. And I mean that literal, and I mean that emotionally and heart center wise too. Did I tell you guys I stopped drinking? I did. I was forced to. Well, not by like a court of law, but by a medicine. I started taking this medicine for my blood sugar, and I can't drink anymore. Like it doesn't affect me. Like I was on this bachelorette this weekend, and we went wine tasting. I kind of like realized it, and I'm such a lightweight. I will have 2 sips of wine and be like, who should I Snapchat? Like such a lightweight. And I had 3 glasses of wine, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. I mean, they're small. And my friend's like, I think you just need to drink more. I was like, I don't want to do that. This seems wrong. So I'm like locked out of alcohol. So I guess I'm sober now. And I'm anxious because I'm like, shit, who am I? I was never a big drinker. And in fact, we did a challenge last summer. Like I wanted to like limit my drinking, not because I had a problem, not because I would even get drunk or blacked out or anything, but because I didn't know how to say no. And in Montana, people drink. I mean, everywhere people drink, in big cities and small towns by the beach. And I just didn't know if I could socialize without it. And I'm like, well, I don't have to, because it's everywhere and it's not like I have a problem. So why would I turn it down? And I'm like, I just kind of want to see if I can. And it was really tough. And so now I'm like, who am I? You know, like I'm supposed to be the really fun friend, and I felt like a disappointment on this bachelorette because I was like sober. I was still fun, but not, you know, it's different. And I can't imagine getting knocked up, like, you know, or like jumping into some brand new, intense, serious dynamic, and I didn't even have an actual problem. So what is Mulaney doing? I mean, I know what he's doing. We all know what he's doing. So let's talk about what we can do if we're in this situation, because it is fucking agonizing. It is. When you think like, not like we're just on a break, but like he just needs to get some things sorted out, and like I can see a future for us down the road, and then it's like, oh, the road has been paved over and it looks like Olivia Munn. The curves in that road look like her big perfect tits. I mean, she has great tits. She's got a great body. What do you do? What do you do when your ex has moved on and you haven't? If it's like a betrayal, it's like cheating, and I can only imagine how Aunt Anna Marie feels when she's looking at this and it's like, that's my husband. That's my husband. That's mine. Who is she? Who is this person in my house, in my life with my man? We have all felt that way, and it's awful. It's awful. I mean, what, he said he moved out in October? It hasn't even been a year. Okay. The first thing to do, like, I'm a debater, and I did debate team, you know, and I was going to be a trial lawyer. I want to do that. The first thing you have to do in any legal battle or any debate is define the term. That's very important, right? You have to define success. You have to define crime, define assault. You have to define moving on. He's moved on. I know. I know how that looks. And in this day and age, where we have Instagram, TikTok, paparazzi photos, it is easier than ever to witness that alleged moving on. But what if we could redefine this term? What if moving on doesn't actually mean jumping into bed with someone new, jumping into the maternity ward with someone new? What if moving on was a little bit more subtle, less flashy, harder emotional work, but ultimately healthier? You know what someone said to me one time? The person who starts to date someone the quickest after a breakup is the one who's not over it. What? No, Shallon, that can't mean that. Think about it. Someone who, as we were talking about with drug addicts and alcoholics, cannot be by themselves. Cannot be by themselves. Have you ever heard of something called a dry drunk? I dated someone, and the person I was referring to, he was a dry drunk. And he would say it. He's like, and I was like, I've never heard this term. And he's like, it just means that you, as the addict, the alcoholic, whatever, will pull yourself towards the same kind of disquieting chaos, the same kind of noise, stimulation that you were getting from alcohol, coke, meth, whatever. You will find a way to engineer those negative outcomes without the substance if you aren't doing the actual work of being able to be okay inside your own emotional real estate. Is that not what we see with John Mulaney? I don't want to be by myself. I can't be alone. I can't do this. Okay, so I not only need a girlfriend, I'm gonna have a kid. You think a kid is a stabilizing fucking force? Have you ever been around a child? Have you seen one? I've seen many. I see them all the time. I see them at Target melting down over some sort of dino egg they want that they can't have. And I want to go up to them and be like, you're screaming? You're screaming? Do you want to see how much I owe in taxes? I'll give you something to cry about. God almighty. I had a flat tire the other day. It was harrowing. Someone came and fixed it for me. It's like kids. It's like, oh, I have problems. Do you? Do you have problems? Anyway. A child is not going to be a stabilizing force. It is going to be this thing that comes into your life that needs a ton of attention and love and a complete reorientation. And okay, yeah, that's distracting. And if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic and you don't want to sit there and be like, I want a Bud Light. Great, distraction is good. Stressful distraction maybe isn't. And that goes back to the dry drunk thing. Are you just going to keep like creating noise after noise after noise so you're never quiet long enough to want the drug? That's a lot of kids, dude. You're going to have a kid every year until you die. But I digress. What if we could reframe what moving on means? What if we could look at this dude, our ex, who's like fucking every girl downtown, and you're like, that's actually really sad and weird. That's actually really sad and weird. I, on the other hand, you know what? No, I'm not dating anyone. And when I lay my head down at night, there's no one that I'm like rosily thinking about. There's no sweet schmoopy photos to post. There's not. It's just me, and I'm in the suck. I miss you. I'm miserable. I'm confused. I'm betrayed. I'm scared. What if I never meet anyone? What if like I never even meant anything to him? If he moved on that fast, you meant more than you know. Seriously. Now, true. Sometimes we get out of long-term relationships and we're just ready. Like, we're just ready to hit the ground running. But if you're doing something demonstrative like impregnating someone, that's an extreme example. But what if he's just like posting all these pics on Instagram? What if he's tagging her? If you truly are like okay moving on, you have a degree of respect for your ex, right? And you don't need to flash it around. You have the self-awareness and the cognition to be like, that actually looks pretty beta. That looks pretty weak and very pressed. Like, I broke up with someone earlier this year. I started dating someone. I didn't post about it. It didn't need to be, because I didn't feel like I wasn't basing my self-worth on getting that kind of attention where it's like, I need him to know that I've moved on. No, I don't need him to know. I don't care. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. And if your ex is demonstrating non-apathy, posting a bunch, posting mean things about you. Look at Scott Disick. We just talked about this with Scott Disick DMing Eunice about Kourtney Kardashian moving on with Travis Barker, right? Like, and his girlfriend, Amelia, poor cross-eyed girl, was like, like she knew enough to know, like, he is not over this, okay? Like, this is not casual, apathetic behavior. He's still very pressed, and it can look like swoony new photos, and it can look like bitter chirps to some other dude. So get it out of your head that just because this guy is dating someone else, and you know what? Maybe he is and maybe he isn't. Like when I had that thing that I told you about, like the dude who went to rehab, it's like, I've met someone. Our mutual friend was like, no, he hasn't. He like fucked her one night at a club. Like, they're not dating. They're not hanging out. They're not talking. Like, he's trying to make it look like that because he wants to make it look like he's just got his life together, and he doesn't need you. He doesn't need you. And it's like that. I wanted to hear that, obviously, but it was also like, ew, you're like pretending you've moved on. But you know what? Let's say that your ex is. Let's say that, no, this is the John and Olivia situation. Like, they're out eating onion rings together. Okay. Okay. Like, you're pregnant, girl, eat whatever you want. But she's also like that chick who, like, on a first date would be like, I just want like hot dogs and beer and like fried food. And I just want like burp and fart because I'm the cool girl and you can do anal. What was that? It doesn't matter. I'm the cool girl. More onion rings, please. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's say that they are in some sort of amazing relationship. Okay, let's say he has legitimately moved on. I think why this hurts us, it's like a mortality thing. It's like we feel so irrelevant. Like, wow, you could just forget about me that easily. Like, I'm still in it. Like, it's not over for me. And apparently I was just something disposable for you. And that kicks up death. Ugh, right? I mean, it does, but that's why it hurts us so bad. It's like, we know that someday we're going to die and people are going to forget about us. Oh, and look, it's starting already. Okay. Right? It feels like you no longer exist. You're like this ghost. It kicks up our social inclusion needs. We're tribes people. I've been kicked out of this tribe. Not only a tribe, but like this person, my partner, who was supposed to defend me against mean people online and woolly mammoths and anything else that might come against me. He's gone. I have no more partner. I'm adrift in the world. Women, that has historically been our scenario. We needed a partner to survive winters and famines and invasions and shit. Like, old habits die hard. Like, we are taught by society and by Mother Nature herself, partner the fuck up, partner up. And we can override this. We're also taught by nature to pee wherever we want. We can override it. But it hits us deep. And it's okay. That's okay. You're not stupid for feeling this way. You're not silly. You're also not a caveman. You're just responding to nature. You are a product of nature. And that's all right. Just take a step back and be like, that's what this is though. Okay? Like, this isn't death. I don't have any woolly mammoth issues to speak of right now. So I don't actually need a man. So okay, maybe just dial that down just enough to get like, okay, this is not truly a survival situation. All right, maybe use those instinctual feelings to kind of create a new roadmap for yourself. Okay, this is hitting me so hard because I don't feel like I'm part of anything, and I don't feel like I have someone to protect me or to love me or defend me. How are your friendships right now? Do you have a best friend? Do you have 4 best friends? Do you have like too many best friends and like not really any friends at all? Look there. If you want someone who's got your back, who's in your corner, you can have those people. They are called friends. Maybe they're called family. Maybe they're called women at your gun club. I just joined a ladies' gun club. I'm excited. You can create those social connections that you think only a man can give you. You can get pretty darn close without dudes. You can probably get 75-80% of your social inclusion needs met without a wiener involved. I mean, try it. What have you got to lose? You already feel miserable. You feel helpless and hopeless. All right, take back some power. All right, you know what? I don't have a boyfriend and now I don't have anyone to like go to the movies with me. I bet you your friends would go to the movies with you. I used to be really, really upset when I would go through breakups in New York because like I would get invited to so many events and it was great to just have a +1, you know? And like I would get all dressed up for events and be like, baby, you look so hot. And it's like, who am I going to take to the US Open? Who am I going to take to a box suite at the US Open sitting next to Katie Holmes? I think I could find someone to go. We are not nearly as bereft and adrift as we think we are. But if you are, this is the illuminating sign to change that. That's what this is. Same with the fear of death. And I know we don't want to look right at this whole death thing. I know. But you know what? Like Fall Out Boy says, get busy living or get busy dying. If you're afraid of death, bro, just like buy your coffin, sleep in it every night until death comes for you. Or maybe say like, okay, I feel like if this is kicking up like death shit, it's like I'm going to die and no one's going to remember. Let's create a legacy for yourself. If you don't know what your life is without a man, answer that question for yourself. What is it? What is it? What are you doing here on earth? The fuck are you doing here? What are you doing here? Are you just taking up space? Come on, girl. I bet you got some gifts, some talents, some dreams in your heart that God put there on purpose because they're meant to be realized. Because you wouldn't have a dream in your heart if it was impossible. As we know, the extenuating circumstance is to be either an American Idol winner or perhaps an American Ninja Warrior. This might not be your dream. Anyway, other than those two, if there's something inside you that is not being fulfilled, now is the time. And let's go back to that codependency thing. Maybe you feel extra betrayed by a dude moving on because you, on some level, know that you poured way too much into this. Way too much. When I go above and beyond for someone, I mean like overextended, there is no amount of thank yous or hugs or high fives or I appreciate yous that ever refill me. When I am depleted, nothing fills me back up. And we all know those people who you would almost rather not get a gift from them because if you do get a gift, they need so much thank you and so much praise. It's like, this isn't even fun for me. Like, just keep your Bed Bath & Beyond gift certificate, okay? Keep your Yankee candles. I would just rather not go through this. Maybe it's because those people feel depleted doing nice things. It could also be because they're narcissists, but when I feel that, it's like they don't appreciate me enough. It's like, that's a sign I've done too much. I have breached my boundaries. I have sacrificed too much. So yeah, no shit, I don't ever feel fulfilled because I am the problem here. So if that is part of what you feel, it's like this seething resentment that they have a lack of gratitude for what you did during the relationship, do less. Do less. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. And that is hard. I don't know about you, but me and like my friends, it's like I'm hardwired to like give. It's like, and I'm a fixer too. And I had the means to like fix a lot of problems. And so I'm like, oh, well, he can't get time off work. I can call his boss and blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's never been to Europe. I'll just take him as my plus one and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm like off to the races, making a beautiful life for someone who isn't doing anything for me. I'm crossing an ocean. They're not crossing a puddle. And then when things go south, I'm bereft, adrift, annihilated. My life is in shambles. And I'm so mad at myself. And I'm so ashamed and I'm so embarrassed. And you know why they move on so fast? They're not depleted. They don't maybe have to stay home for 2 months and like do the self-care. They were always doing the self-care and I was doing it also for them. The codependency. But when I can stop and when I can keep my boundaries, I go to bed. I don't drink anymore. You know, I focus on work. No, I don't do this, blah, blah, blah. Then if things go belly up, I maybe don't need to take myself off the market. I feel maybe sad, but I am not depleted and bankrupt in the exact same way. So if that's how you're feeling, I know. The last thing you want to do is like, how have I done this to myself? Trust me, I know this is like the last work you want to do. It's horrible, but you're already feeling horrible. You're already in misery. You're already just so unhappy. So maybe we can use this as that psychological splinter. You get a splinter and you just leave it in there. It's going to fester. It's going to swell. It's going to be miserable and throb for a long time in service of nothing. But if you can be brave, you say, I'm getting my little tweezers and I'm getting in there, and you pull it out, it's going to hurt for a minute. It is. But then you're going to be healing. That pain, it's in service of healing. You're moving towards something, not just spiraling and stagnating. So no, this isn't fair. The work we have to do on ourselves is literally never fair. It's not. And it sucks. And I know we're looking at our ex, it's like, oh, he's just like tra-la-la-la-la-ing into his future, and I don't exist, and all the pain is gone. And honey, nobody gets out alive. Men, they suppress and they suppress and they suppress, and then they explode. They go to rehab twice in as many months, okay? And this might look like a happy ending. You know what? I hope it is for John and Olivia. Like, not really, but there's a kid involved, so great. Cool, whatever. Yay, love is grand. But obviously, we don't hope that for you and whatever new bitch your ex is fucking. No, I hope they both get gonorrhea and go back and forth in this horrible gonorrhea loop for the rest of their lives. But, like, what we see is not reality. It is not reality. You are not responding to the truth. You are responding to someone's social mask. Never, ever forget that. Never forget that. So just remember that what you're seeing on social media and what even you're hearing through the grapevine, like from first-person people, isn't the truth. It's not carved into stone. And even if it is the truth right now, oh, they met someone. Honey, we of all people know how fast that can go up in flames, right? So don't live and die by the gossip or the posts or anything like that. Focus on you. Unfollow, block. Tell your friends, don't talk to him and don't talk about him to me. I'm trying to move on. And I define moving on, not just as like you fall off a man, you get right back on. You get over someone by getting under somebody new. No, I'm actually going to do things the right way. So that when a quality person comes along and I'm stunting on Instagram with someone, it's because that person is true love. We're better and we're moving forward in the right way. Mazel tov or whatever to Olivia and John. Hope your baby is adorable. I mean, your baby will be adorable. It'll be like gorgeous and like very smart and probably funny because Olivia's funny. But you know what I mean? It's just this thing about her that's like, you seem cool. I don't want you around my man. Like, Anyway, I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think John and Olivia really are true loves? Does your heart go out to Anna Marie? Are you kind of on Olivia's side? It's like, look, like he jettisoned a wet blanket of a wife. He found love. Let everyone be happy. I want to know your thoughts and what has made you feel the most betrayed when an ex moves on? I mean, is it... Tell me your stories. And like I said, don't forget to watch my YouTube shorts here for some more celebrity rants.